Oh, that's right. We're back, bitches. What's up? This is Kilgallon's Pub, episode number 60. Back live for the first time in a while here at the POC Studios.
Right.
That's right.
You got it.
People of Comedy. That's James Webb. He's my producer extraordinaire.
Hello.
If you guys are checking out Kilgallon's Pub for the very first time, follow us on Twitter at Kilgallon's Pub, on Instagram. This is the podcast where I, comedian Joe Kilgallon, like to sit back, have some drinks with people, and recreate that bar conversation we all know and love. I'm sitting here with a returning guest on for the third time, which makes you only one of two people to be on 3 times. The other one being Jonah Jerkins.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I know. Not the best company. Jonah
Wait,
was
how do I
on the
share
first
this,
couple.
You know?
Here, give me your phone.
Kristen's trying to do social media right now, and I
Sorry.
make fun of her because she does Instagram stories in a way in which it feels like you always just woke up from a nap or about to take a nap, and there's always a delay where you're like, "Oh, it's recording." Hi, you guys ever notice when it's just like way too bright in a studio and you're
so
mad about
fucking
it?
bright in here.
Yeah, you're really mad about how bright it is. You're wearing Bono sunglasses.
I'm being an asshole and pouting because you won't.
Be an
turn
asshole
this,
into the microphone.
You
Yeah,
won't
please.
turn this.
There you go.
These lights, it's like a cubicle.
Here, I'll turn
in
down
here.
I'll turn this down. Hold on.
Thank you, James. Turn it down just a touch though, because you want it to look good for the YouTube and the Instagram and all the fun stuff.
I'm looking at it right now, Joe, and I'm telling you, it looks fucking.
All right. Well, listen, Toomey, thanks for being on the podcast again. This is gonna be a very fun one, everybody. You are famous for the past 2 podcasts in which we've had to do toilet paper updates. On episode number 26, I checked it out earlier. I actually did my homework. You revealed to everyone that it had been months since you had toilet paper in your home, and you did a thing that you referred to as bird bathing, in which you would just kind of take water from your sink and sprinkle it up your get it up in that little area.
Why are you asking me creepy
Your
questions
vagine.
on your podcast, man? I don't
It's
know.
not creepy. You're the one that's talking about it.
It was your fault.
I like how you're turning around
It
your
was your
fucking
fault.
laziness on me.
No.
'Cause you
Yeah,
can't
no, I
steal
did
toilet
that.
paper.
Yeah, I did that.
But then
That's
the last one,
absolutely
you were
true.
still been a couple months, and now you told me you have 2 rolls at home, which is amazing because, you got a whole reserve roll. Like,
Dude,
what are you, Rockefeller all of
I
a
know,
sudden?
right? I'm fucking killing it right now. I have groceries. I'm living my best life.
Killing that TP game. You just had to get out of the city, get back out of the burbs
Yeah,
where toilet paper's cheaper.
Yes, and I could park to go to Target,
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a very fun one. We got here early. The studio was double booked. The Hood Nerds podcast, which you guys should check out. It's called The Hood Nerds.
Yes.
Very funny dudes. They were podcasting, so we were in like the cool little green room here that's got a Pac-Man arcade game, which is like really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And in the TV, I didn't know how to operate, so I just we were just on our phones talking. And then the guys started talking about Game of Thrones, which I am not mad at them for because they're doing a podcast. Their listeners, they imagine, are up to date. My problem I have is something James did recently with something, and something people are doing in general. Spoiler alerts. We need to talk about spoiler alerts as a society. James, you did it in a way that was really fucking shitty in regards to the Avengers, the latest Avengers movie. Okay. You have to understand that I know it was the biggest opening weekend of all time.
Right.
But dude, I think I made you feel a little bit bad, and I need to, because I had to big brother you a little bit on this one, even though they were the same age. You did a thing where he was like, guys, I put in my 2 weeks notice. I'm fucking doing this thing full-time here. People of Comedy Network full-time. All these other big projects in the work. The dude's producing a shitload of fucking comedy specials right now for up-and-coming comedians. James Webb is doing. So it's one of those posts where everyone's like, fuck yeah, dude. Live that dream. You got it. You're doing it. You won. You won, kid. We're all proud of you.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of this post where he's like, I've worked so hard. I want to thank my beautiful Linda for having my back and all this shit, and my dogs and being real sweet, and for everyone who ever doubted me. He didn't do that. I'm just fucking around about that part. But
Michael Jordan.
yeah, you had a real
You think it's Michael Jordan?
No, Michael Jordan famously on his Hall of Fame speech. So, hold that thought though, because I love that Hall of Fame speech. Some people don't like it, but I'll tell you why I love it. But then in the middle of that, James Webb writes the spoiler for the latest Avengers. And I was like, what the fuck, man?
Nicely
because
placed.
the way nicely placed. Yeah, like
You're welcome.
I can't appreciate that. In my head, I'm like, what, dude? Because I literally started watching previous ones so I could be caught up for this one coming up.
Oh, you actually got it
I
spoiled.
don't mind people talking about the shit on social media. You just have to write spoiler alert. It's so easy. It's like we're in a society in which I know people who just started watching The Office. And granted, sitcoms don't get ruined really that way, although you could fuck with the Jim Pam thing, I suppose. In my head, even worse than that, James, and I know you fucking are a better person. That's why I was so disappointed. You expect shit like that from some people.
Dad.
Yeah, I'm going to fucking dad you real hard, kid.
All right.
Jeez, second kid came out, and now he's dad.
I'm
full
gonna
time.
fucking
dad
serious.
everybody, man. I'm gonna dad like a motherfucker, man.
As he
Which
pours
dads do
fucking
that. Dads
booze in his cup.
the coke into the whiskey. The dads are literally motherfuckers when you think about it.
Yes, very true.
It's just I don't understand this aspect either. What people are doing with like Avengers and Game of Thrones. Well, Avengers not because it's a movie. It'd be weird if you were live tweeting a movie while you were watching it. That's fucked up. But
Yeah.
people like to if you live tweet a scripted show, especially it's funny to me because you're live tweeting Game of Thrones, which is scripted, and you know people are behind on it. You know it's this big thing.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if you were living in the time of Game of Thrones, if Game of Thrones was a real place, and you were living in those seven kingdoms there, they would cut your fucking tongue out.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
For doing spoiler alerts. That
Yeah.
spoiler alerts would be right up there. No, your head would be on a pike. It'd be right up there with treason.
Yeah.
It'd be,
True.
and yeah, granted, I'm 5 seasons behind, but I only just started watching it like 2 weeks ago. Everybody, I've been at home because I've got I got a 3-week-old son.
Congratulations.
Thank you, a
by the
2-year-old
way.
son. Appreciate that. I talked about it briefly on the podcast, but I'm excited to have you on because Kristen's a mother of 2.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about some mother birthing shit because that's why I wanted to have a mother on the podcast this week.
Yeah.
Especially since this is like kind of the Mother's Day episode of the podcast, even though Mother's Day was a couple days ago. Which, by the way, happy Mother's Day to you, Kristen.
Thank you.
What did you do? Did you have a good time?
Kelly Howard and I were in St. Louis, so we drove back from St. Louis, and then I had 2 shows at Laugh Factory.
Did you see your kids at all?
No, I did text with them.
I don't know why I'm
though.
laughing.
I've
I
seen
shouldn't
them-
laugh at that. Were they mad or they didn't care?
No, they're fine. I saw them yesterday and today.
Oh, that's great then.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't matter. I just always find it Mother's Day was always like you got to get together with mom. Of course, because it's Mother's Day, it makes
Right.
sense. But Father's Day was always Dad's going golfing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see you if I see you. Because I've played in softball games in Chicago, my whole life except for when I was in LA for a few years there. And every softball league, Mother's Day, no games. Because I was in a Sunday league for a while. So
Yeah.
the Sunday league, no games. It's Mother's Day. But Father's Day, fucking games. There's
Yeah.
always games because the dads are like
Into it.
because it's kind of like it's Father's Day. You get to do whatever you want to do, Dad. Well, I want to not be with you guys.
Right? Yeah.
I want to be hitting some balls with the boys. So you did a dad's Mother's Day.
I did a dad's Mother's Day, as I do most things. Yeah, dads. I do dad things.
How old are your kids now?
They're 14 and 10.
Cool.
Yeah. So,
And the girl's 14 because you have a daughter and a
I have a-
son.
yeah, my daughter's 14. She's amazing. She's graduating from 8th grade next week. So that's really cool. She's going to her dance, and she's, they do like
Yeah.
8th grade dance. You remember that?
Yeah, of course.
And
I remember going to the 8th grade dance.
they get.
I wore khaki pants and a Notre Dame jersey.
Oh yeah, did you dance slow
That was
dance
like
to
a
Boys
look.
to Men? That's what we did.
Yeah, I think we did.
It's like end of the road.
I had a fresh haircut.
People crying. It's a very dramatic
We
time.
did that. The dancing. The slow dance was basically guy had hands around hips, girls had the arms around the neck.
Yeah.
Like that move, and then it was always don't
Back and forth.
Don't get the
just-
crotches too close. But sometimes, I'd tuck that boner down a little bit and then let it rub against the girl's thigh.
All
And
right,
let her
dude.
know I'm there.
Come
You know what I'm saying? 8th grade or not, man. Fucking Joe shows up every fucking day. Every day I clock in. Don't forget that shit to me. All right? Any 8th grade friends of mine listening? You
Oh,
know what's
man.
up.
Your
The,
dick.
the Jessicas and the other.
Your dick. Yeah, man. I don't want to think about that right now.
Well,
but,
you don't have to.
You know what I mean?
I don't. It's been a while for me, everybody, because the baby and everything. So
All right.
no. I'm kidding. Yeah. So 14, 8th grade dance, right? And she's going to high school next year.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's crazy. So she's like in honors classes. She's doing great. She's been on the honor roll some quarter of her whole life.
And
so she's great.
you're 100% positive she's yours.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Okay,
She's taller than me. She's pretty. She's
I always
smart.
thought it'd be funny to have like a scenario in which because the guy could always be like, "That's not mine," but you never heard a woman be like, "That's not mine." No,
Yeah.
it came out of you. It's definitely
Yeah.
yours.
I had 2 C-sections, like your wife had a
Really?
C-section. And
Why did you have to have him for any medical reason, or they were just like, "We got to cut this thing out"?
I didn't dilate. So I was on Pitocin with my daughter, which is what they give you because my water broke. And they gave me Pitocin to induce labor. And I was on that for like 12 hours. And then they kept coming in to check me, and I was not opening at all. And so they're like, well, we could let this go like another 5 hours and
So
still
did you
have to
have
do a C-section, or you could just have it now. And
So
I was
my-
like, I'll do it now.
my eldest son, God, that sounds weird because he's 2. My eldest son, I feel like such an old. I'm actually there's a couple gray hairs
so
I found the
cool.
other day popping through, which is weird because they say kind of my hair's reddish. I don't consider myself a redhead, but a lot of people do. It's a weird color. I
You
suppose.
are a redhead. What do you mean?
No, people.
Just 'cause
James,
you
what do you
don't
think?
claim it?
Do you think I'm a red? Am I a redhead?
Yes.
Yeah, but no. Every now and then people. Will
Okay,
say,
you
it's not
ask
me.
what I think, and then you say no. So
I didn't say no. In what word did I say no? I was going to
Said-
explain myself.
All right.
No, I was going to explain myself because there are some people who will say, I called myself a redhead. I've said redhead a lot of times. When I write in, we're both with the same agency.
Yeah.
When you go on auditions, you have to fill out like hair color, eyes, and all that stuff. I write reddish. I actually
Okay.
write the ish part because whatever. So I have no problem claiming redhead. But every now and then people go, your hair's not that red.
It's not that.
It's not like Molly
orange,
Ringwald red,
Right, but
you know?
it's red though.
It's strawberry.
People would call it strawberry
Like you're
blonde.
like a
I don't know what the fuck
redhead.
it
You're
is.
an Irish redhead.
I'm fine with that. I have no qualms about it.
Yeah,
I don't
there's-
fight it. I wasn't
You
fighting you,
shouldn't
James.
fight it. You shouldn't fight it.
Yeah, why would I? You embrace the hair color,
Be
right?
silly.
But usually reddish hair doesn't go gray, really. You don't see
No,
too
it
many.
totally does early. That's
Does
like
it?
the whole thing. Yeah.
I
they
thought it
say.
didn't.
It's
I thought
the
it
absolute
later.
opposite of what you're trying to say.
Is that true?
It's the truth.
You might want to look that up there, James.
Looking it up.
Yeah,
Thanks,
look
bud.
it up.
Yeah.
That's why we have the producer extraordinaire over here.
Yeah.
Redheads don't go gray. Ginger hair retains its natural pigment a lot longer than other shades. So there's no. Oh, hold on. This is from a website called gingerparrot.co.uk.
I think that sounds very reputable.
Yeah, I don't trust the British.
Reputable? That's a fucking word. Huh?
Um,
That is a word. I'll say this, though. I didn't mean to jump back to Game of
I
Thrones. We were
really
talking
think
about your great
that's
kids.
not true. I think that
Yeah, this sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
The font on this website is
go-
terrible.
We'll find another website then.
I'm
but-
looking.
okay.
I'm looking.
I like how adamant you're like, that's not true.
yeah.
That's your natural hair color?
No. I mean, I don't know. Even know.
You don't even know anymore?
Yeah, like whatever this is by here.
All right, we're talking about your great kids here. So you weren't dilating. Did you have it where, so like I was saying, my eldest son, he was born natural birth. And then my younger son, I got 3-week-old, everybody. He was born C-section. And so when you had you weren't dilating, were all
Yeah.
these people coming in and fingering you? Because that's what happens to everyone. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but people pop in and they go, we're just going to check this. And they shove their fingers up.
It
you.
was wild how many people were just all up in there.
And you just have to deal with it. You're
Real
just like,
fun time, man.
Yeah, got my legs up. Come on in.
Yeah.
Come on in. The
you know,
water's warm.
Putting in work.
Put it in work.
Yeah, no, it's good. What's the answer?
According to Cosmo,
That's pretty good.
I'll
Cosmo.
take that for sure. Redheads don't go gray. Red hair will never turn gray. It simply fades to white via rose gold when the
Okay,
time
well,
comes.
white.
Look here, real quick. I gotta take the headphones off for you. It kind of gets
White
like you
is-
see. I got a
is
couple on the
gray.
side. You see some grays coming in.
You mean whites?
White, yeah, I guess it's white. But also, also my
I see whites, I guess. I mean, what the hell?
my little
It's like
chin
the
hair
same
here. I
thing.
got some whites coming in on the little
Some
chin
whites.
hairs. Yeah, you see that?
All right.
That's why I'm gonna be clean shaven from now on. I don't like
the
a
scruff,
little bit of
dog.
white.
Can you
coming
look
in.
and see if it turns white earlier than?
It says when the time comes. I'm assuming it's.
Kristen, could you just let redheads
50s.
have this? Can you just let us have a thing?
No, but I've seen multiple redheads in their late 20s that have white hair, which I called gray up until.
I
30
name one.
seconds
Do I
ago.
know any of them?
I'm not going to call them out.
I'm sure
on
that's
the
just
phone.
a hereditary, subjective thing based on who you are.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter.
I mean,
I know bald 19-year-olds. Well, Todd Massey when he was 19.
Right.
So it's all.
honestly, Todd Massey's a comic I got to get on this podcast for those of you listening who don't know who the hell that is. And why would you? He's a fucking nobody. That's what I'm trying to say. You heard that shit, Todd. Fuck you. No, I love Todd. I don't know why I was doing that. Todd's great.
Gonna come
He
in
was
there.
referenced on this podcast in December-ish after the Laugh Factory holiday party in which I had to slam somebody, and he tore his MCL watching it happen. Actually, I almost slipped on the same drink he slipped on, but I didn't. I'm athletic, so I didn't hurt myself.
Todd is very not.
I know. I love Todd, but I remember when he was starting out and him being like, I'm 21. And I'm like, fuck off. You're 21. You're 36. 21. Poor guy. That poor guy. What I'm talking about, man. He's got a good life. So what? So
just
what,
went to
Todd? You lost
Bali
your.
for free.
Anyone who's bald out there, it's not a big deal. Wear a hat. It's
Yeah.
fine. Hair's overrated. You have to shampoo and condition it. Sometimes I would love to get rid of this, but I think I'm too pasty though, because I'm really white. So my scalp's got to be like gross white. If my face is this white, the scalp has got to be like, dude, I'd look like one of those fucking daywalkers in
You
Game
look
of
like
Thrones.
this lamp.
Spoiler alert, everyone. That's not a spoiler.
White
You find that
Walkers.
out. White Walker. You find that shit out in like
White
episode
hair
1.
walkers.
White hair walkers. Yeah. Dude, I'm loving Game of Thrones though so far. It's really amazing what they did. I'm not gonna tell anyone anything because if you're like me and you want to start late, let me
Yeah.
give you the benefits of starting something late. Other than you have to dodge people trying to ruin it for you. Which again, I don't know why people would purposely do that though. I don't understand. James, this isn't towards you, so get your mind out of it right now. The live tweeting a scripted show, again, I got to get back on that, is weird to me because shouldn't you be like fully present in what you're watching?
Mm-hmm.
Live tweeting a sporting event, we get it. Toomey, have you ever live tweeted like an award show?
Back in the day, yeah, a few times, like a couple of years ago, something, just because that's like what everybody's doing on Twitter and you want to.
But that's fine. I have no problem with that because it's live. It's a thing that it's in the air. Once it's there, it goes.
Right.
You know, sporting event too. You could be like, holy shit, that home run was great. It's fine.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
do that. That is accepted. But a show that's scripted in this day and age in which people don't watch shit live anymore.
Yeah.
You know, what if you work? What if you fucking work on a Sunday? Huh? What if you're a fucking security guard for an orphanage, right? And your whole job is make sure babies don't get abducted. And you love, when you get home from work, you watch Game of Thrones over some breakfast with your wife who's also sick.
Oh man,
You
you're
know
really
what I mean?
going deep.
Yeah, I'm going deep. And people are ruining it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And people will just stay off
your
the
dick
internet. But
doesn't
maybe you
work.
needed to go on the internet to check traffic.
Your dick won't
And
work.
the guy's impotent,
Oh my god.
right?
And then it's like spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, why would he
Well,
come over that? You think he wouldn't
No,
come over that?
it was a both thing. Like just
Oh, yeah.
that was
I
his
thought.
his.
Like, damn it. I thought you were doing like a.
Yeah.
Because you
No,
started
like,
well with that.
Because he's impotent, he can't come. So the closest thing he gets is Game of Thrones, and it's like spoiler alert.
I know impotency is a negative thing, but did they have to give it such a negative sounding word?
Oh, I missed my orgasm.
Oh, there it goes.
There it goes. I don't know.
What's the word for women that are impotent? Could women frigid, right? That's what they say. I don't know. I don't know a lot of words. Is that the word?
Oh, look it up.
Because impotent for a dude means he can't get it up.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, right? For a woman, what's the term for a woman who can't like get wet? Dry.
Menopause, I think.
Menopause.
I don't know. Yeah, because I mean,
Drink some more water. You gotta
Yeah.
hydrate.
hydrate.
It's nice because lube is a lot cheaper than Viagra. I gotta imagine, right?
Yeah, you don't need a prescription
You do not.
for lube.
No, you do not.
You
All
don't
right.
even need lube.
What do you? Yeah, that's right. You could just,
Yeah, frigid.
fridge is the word.
Frigid is
See,
the
look at
word.
me.
Frigid air.
Look at me, everybody.
Frigid air.
Frigid. It's 46 hours of junior college. Just came up with the word frigid for everyone.
High school dropout just came up with frigid air.
You dropped out of high school?
Yeah.
Oh, how come we've never talked about that on the podcast?
I don't know.
What
I've
was
talked
that like?
about it on another podcast.
Let's talk about it. What year did you get through senior year?
No, 10th. I left in a little.
Did you
before-
get your GED?
Yeah.
Cool. Why did you drop out, if you don't mind me asking?
I had 11 credits as a junior, so I didn't want to be like 21 when I graduated. So I just
I
left.
see. Oh, it took me a second for the credits because
Yeah.
in high school.
Oh, so
I
you
had,
need
big
like
credits.
40 credits, and I just.
Oh, so you just had a
I-
bunch of. You were just behind on a bunch of classes.
Yeah, I only passed like a couple classes. I think.
I got you.
My
Okay, this
English
feels
and
like
acting
this was like
class.
a topic I partially want to dive into, but partially don't want to dive into.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you've openly talked about this on other podcasts though?
Being a high school dropout.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it. Yeah.
Okay,
I mentioned
that's
it on stage too.
Yeah. I was a bad student in high school. I barely graduated. I remember I had to ace like a final senior year to graduate, and I fucking did. And I remember my teacher at the time being like, "You're one of 2 people to ace the final," and I'm like, "I'm clutch," I was like joking around because I was always kind of like funny, and she was like, "You're an idiot. You could have easily passed. Just do your home. You could have done your homework, and like you wouldn't have had to study so hard just to pass this." And I was just like, you know what though? Sometimes you want to win in 7 games instead of sweep. I always did sports analogies back
Yeah.
then. Okay.
I know. I see it's deep.
I'm trying to make it funny. I'm trying to make it funny because it feels deep now. I feel like there's
Yeah,
some
no.
deepness to why why were you behind? Were you in a gang? What were you doing?
No.
You didn't have your children in high school, right?
No,
that
no,
wouldn't
no.
make sense age-wise.
No,
Yeah.
if you'd let me answer, I'll tell you instead of
I'm
you.
trying to
Or
make
you
you
could
feel okay.
guess. We
I'm
could
trying to
just
make you
it.
feel okay.
I
Sorry.
feel great about it. I mean, look, it didn't help you.
It didn't.
We did the same fucking thing, man.
No,
What do you mean?
I
Why
know.
you
I'm not.
kidding me?
No, I know. I'm not saying that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I left because I didn't do well because I wasn't there. You know, I ditched a lot and I was doing heroin and stealing cars and doing shit like that.
That's the fucking thing I was looking for because you're a very smart person. That's why, not that smart people don't fuck around.
Yeah, man.
But I knew there had to be a cool story. Heroin, stealing cars. That's the content I'm looking for,
That
baby.
was only like 6 months of the heroin was only 6 months, but
that's good.
there was other stuff in there.
I'm glad you don't do heroin anymore. It's a dangerous drug. No,
I know, yeah,
no
me
doing
too.
heroin, listeners.
Very bad. I've lost a lot of people in my school died from that, and it was a very big thing in the 90s.
Yeah, Kurt Cobain, man.
Mid to late 90s.
That was my guy, and he did heroin.
Yeah, and yeah. So
is heroin cheap? How? Because it feels like a lot of
I don't
people.
know now, but then it was like $10 a bag. So I was stealing cell phones, which weren't as handy now. And that's how I got
Stealing
caught.
cell phones back then. That's a
Yeah.
big crime. Yeah.
I got caught. My mom. I had a bunch of cell phones in my closet, my bedroom closet.
Because few people had cell phones back then.
Right. And so my mom was like, "What the fuck? Where'd you get these cell phones?"
You're not supposed to ask.
So then I went to rehab.
How long were you in rehab for?
3 weeks.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, and then outpatient. So I missed a lot of school from that. My freshman year, I got mono. So I missed some time. I got behind, and then I was just sort of fucking up and not.
Mono's the kissing disease, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't
You're
like
Frenching
kissing.
a bunch of dudes. No.
I was like a tomboy. One of the guys. Like I think I had 2 boyfriends.
We've talked about you being a tomboy in past podcasts because you told some fight stories about you just being like, I'll kill a motherfucker. I like that. I feel like you would be great. They're doing another season of Shameless. We got to get you a part of that show. You would be perfect on Shameless. And
I know.
You would be your own. You'd be
Just myself.
Yes,
yeah.
be Kristen Toomey. I don't want them to write like this is Sheila or whatever.
I know, but I'm still
Sheila.
shameful. I'm still trying to release my shame for my darkness, my shadow self. You know.
Well, you're already. I always say that Toomey's a beast on stage, and you are.
But I
can't.
just try to.
If you tap into that area, that's gonna be nuts too.
Well, that's the thing. I sort of channeled into that. I think.
Yeah.
Because there's that. I don't even know where that comes from. Like that anger and fire, like thing, because I'm not always like that, but it's definitely there, and so I don't know. I don't know what causes that, and I don't know. But I'm sort of glad.
You go to therapy?
It's kind of under control at the moment. No.
I've been wanting to get a therapist on the podcast just to have a conversation about mental health.
Yeah.
Not to like have him be like, "Here's what's wrong with you, Joe." I want to air that on a podcast, but maybe I should be good. Just because I feel like more and more people I talk to who do go to therapy, they're like, everyone should go.
Yeah.
And I remember on some show, maybe it was like an episode of Curb, they're like, "Oh, it's great. You just unload all your shit on a stranger." I'm like, "Oh, that sounds actually kind of nice."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna try to get someone on. I made a post on Facebook a while back. Oh, by the way, I deleted my Facebook app and my Twitter app. I still have the accounts. I deleted the apps because again, I'm trying to avoid the spoilers, and it's a waste of time in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But then you waste your time on other shit. You ever notice that?
Yeah, I stopped watching television like 2 years ago, and I don't have a computer either. So I'm on my phone. I'm on YouTube watching a lot of lectures, which
that's
like
cool.
I watch a lot of like Jordan Peterson. I love him, and a lot of like.
Don't a lot of women hate Jordan Peterson? I thought.
Yeah.
But you're cool. You like him?
Yeah, I like.
That's
him.
cool. I don't know a lot about him. I know he ruffled a lot of feathers with the trans stuff.
Well, everyone ruffles feathers.
That's true.
That's
actually the name of the game. I feel like maybe I play it too safe sometimes.
I don't know. I think it's just like if there's more good about the person and you get more good out of it than you do bad, then it's that's really what it's coming down to for me. I don't want to write somebody off completely for some one thing they said or one thing they did or one view they have. I think we can't really continue to do that much longer. Otherwise, you're not going to like anybody. That's what I've
always liked about you is, Twitter has that annoying feature where you'll see a tweet of a person you don't follow, but other people like the tweet.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's an obvious thing that all your followers, someone like will say, "Oh, Trump's terrible," and it's like 75 of your friends like this, and I'm like, that's fucking boring because the person didn't say anything. They made an obvious statement, and it's just preaching to the choir. Everyone liked it, and then there'll be someone will say something a little bit off center, whether it's right or left, and I'll see you often as being one of the people who likes it. Where I'm like, oh, that's cool. Because because you know how people fucking fall in line?
Yeah.
That's what kills me a lot. I know this has been like a repetitive theme, is talking about comedy, which, sorry for non-comedians, this is part of our society now as it is that comedians used to be, like when Louis C.K. recently, I don't know, it's like 5 months ago now this was, it feels like it was yesterday, but things move so fast. Audio from one of his sets got released and he was just working shit out. And he had a joke where he made fun of, he didn't make fun of specific, he was talking about like school shootings in general, but the Parkland kids he used as an example. And everyone's like, what is he, right wing now? He's making fun of school shooting victims? Like, no, he's not making fun of the victims. He's making fun of the, anyway, I saw it for what it was. Also, I understand how a comedian processes.
Yeah, I didn't even listen to it because
I didn't listen to it either.
him.
Yeah.
And I know everybody feels their own certain way about him now. I didn't listen to that clip, even though it's online, because just out of respect for the whole thing.
Yeah, to me that was the process. Like you're more than in your right to hate Louis C.K. and that's I'm not sticking up for him either.
I didn't want to participate in it because I'm like, he didn't intend for us to listen to this. You know? Although I do watch concerts that aren't intended for sharing because I do watch a lot of YouTube concerts.
I don't think concerts. I think it's a little different. Don't you think?
I don't know. They have the
unless you're
bags
bootlegging the song. I remember Nirvana has this one live album where they, in the opening, they go,
"This is so gross right now."
It looks gross.
It is gross.
Drinking
it's like
watered down Starbucks coffee there. What is that?
It looks sad. It's making me sad.
Yeah, sorry. So I've seen
like
concert footage.
Coffee?
What?
Would you like some more coffee?
Yeah. Do you have some?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. James will be right back.
James.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being such a gracious host here, James.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're a real piece of shit, man.
I can't get up. I can't fucking leave the mic.
I'm kidding.
No, I know you are. No, but concert footage is different. I remember Nirvana had this one song where they were like, oh, this is a new song and we don't really feel like putting it out, so this is for all you bootleggers to just go ahead and go.
Yeah.
And it was just a fuck
around
song.
I think it depends on the...
I think if you're illegally downloading the songs, that's when bands are pissed. But if it's like a live concert that someone... Are you watching it through someone's cell phone footage?
Yeah. Or if it's recorded too. You know what I mean?
I'm kind of at the point now where I think they don't give a shit. Things have shifted so much industry-wise.
You don't think of it as stealing for that?
They might. If the artist says, "Oh, you're stealing from me," then that's who am I to say that the artist shouldn't feel that way? Right. Like if the band's like, "No, fuck that, we're against it," then fine, fuck it and be against it. I think the band would be stupid for that reason because with the way everything is right now, like Major League Baseball. I hate to go back to sports, but it's a good example though. They were, I think now they're better with it, but forever, if someone posted a video on YouTube where they showed like highlights of a game, Major League Baseball would rip that off of YouTube.
Really?
They had like a protective thing over their own content where only they could put it out. Where the NBA and the NFL did the opposite. The NBA, you could be LeBron James fan 69 and make LeBron James highlight compilation videos and put them out there and grow a YouTube following. And the NBA was like, yeah, fine, it's cool. Because the NBA was like, all you're doing is promoting our brand. Why would we be against you doing that? Mm-hmm. Obviously, with comedy, it's a little bit different because if someone were just...
Because the material's so...
Yeah, but I do think comedians are a little too shy with putting shit out. And with me and James are going to work on it. It's going to be out in June sometime, my album, but accompanied with it, we filmed it. So special. I'm just going to release the special on YouTube, put it into clips, make it digestible.
Nice.
Which I'm basically this was something I had in my head for a while because I like that Gary Vaynerchuk guy. And he was talking about he gave this advice to a young rapper. I can't remember the guy's name. But he's actually kind of been blowing up because the interview was from a few years ago, 2016. Can't remember the guy's name. It doesn't matter. Where he's just like, put your shit out there. Just put your shit out there. Because then people will follow you. They'll like you. And then when you sell tickets, they'll buy your tickets.
Right.
Then when the actual album comes out, they really like it. They'll buy that. And even if they don't, they'll stream it. They'll share it and all this kind of other stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's just more eyes on you, more followers. And then you can get into advertising or sponsorships, whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? That's where you'll get your revenue streams.
Yeah,
put the content out there.
Those Laugh Factory clips, I had one of those. They put it up, the Laugh Factory Hollywood.
Yeah.
On the Instagram and on the Instagram for the club. I didn't mean to say the Instagram.
No, I got it.
And yeah, that was great. It was like a couple million views, and So I was driving. I was driving to this suburban show at Maggiano's, this Italian chain.
The one in
restaurant.
Naperville?
Yeah,
I did that one.
No, the Vernon Hills one.
Oh, okay.
But I did the Naperville one. I do all the Italian chain restaurants around here.
Nice.
So what was crazy is I knew it was coming out because they message you, they email you.
Yeah. Yeah, they get permission.
They get permission, but I like forgot about it, and then so I was driving to this gig, and what was so funny is so many people were watching this and following me, and it was like the most exposure I've had from anything I've done in 10 years. And I'm like, what's so great is like I'm having this great thing. It's like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then it was like a moment of like validation in a weird way, immediately followed by I'm gonna go bomb my dick off for 40 minutes in front of these like old middle-aged people
Old khaki
eating
pants
their
wearing,
yeah
polo shirts.
and I was just like, damn, like I can't even have like 5 fucking minutes of like yes without being like, oh well, now this is gonna. It's so great because you can't possibly get too
no, it's
full of yourself in
yeah.
this because you just get
Colin Quinn
you just
said
get
on.
smacked as soon as you do. It's like
I'm adding to what you're saying
always
here.
great.
Have you seen the documentary Comedian with Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Where he's making his comeback after the show ended? Yeah, it's great. It's I think it's the best documentary about stand-up comedy. Colin Quinn at one point says stand-up comedy is the most humbling thing.
Yeah.
And they talked.
You can't. And that was the other thing. It's like even if somebody, is making fun of you or picking on you, bullying you, it's like it sucks. It's not good. But at the same time, it's like I get up there every night and ask people to laugh at me. So it's like, what the fuck can you do to me? You know what I mean? It's almost like
That's
you get,
crazy.
and it's like even if it works, you're laughing at me. If it doesn't work, you're rejecting me. A group of people are rejecting you. So it's like, and you're standing up there with nothing but just you. So it's like, really, if you can do that every night and repeatedly for a long time, it's like, what the fuck can anybody? You're untouchable in a way, because it's like if you put yourself through that for fun.
For fun, yeah.
And you love that.
It really doesn't
I mean, what
feel
the
like
fuck are you gonna do to me?
it's
You'd
a
have to
job, but it
physically
doesn't
hurt
feel
me.
like one, right?
No, it does not
Does
feel
not.
like a job
No,
at all.
it doesn't. Well, that's what's great
It's
about
never
it, though.
felt like a job.
I always told people my favorite thing about being a comedian is
If
I
there's-
don't hate Mondays.
Right? Yeah.
How often do we like go on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and you just see people be like, "Ugh, it's Monday."
Yeah, I feel
yeah,
like I
it's
could
Monday.
work a lot
What's wrong with
harder
that?
on it, but I don't feel like it's a job. I feel like there's been times where the passion for it has waned, and so then it felt not even like a job then as much as punishment. I think it goes from like enjoyable to straight up punishment.
And just
There's
not to-
no job.
Yeah, I want
It's
to.
either really great or just like fucking horrible. But you just keep doing it, and it's like it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. You just keep doing it.
It's got its claws in us now. We're like hooked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
I remember one time having like not a fight, but just I was frustrated. And I was just venting to my wife, and I was telling her, I'm like, listen, you're a nurse. You have degrees. No one can take those away from you. I'm a comedian. That could go away. It could go away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not. There's no. There's no end. It's a weird thing where although nowadays there is starting to form. I've talked enough to people where I'm like, oh, yeah. There is a middle class for comedy. I always feel like I'm kind of right in that little middle class line. But for most, it's you're either like tons of money or fucking nothing.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's this weird dichotomy there, that split.
Yeah.
So it is on your way up. It is hard for the people around you to understand. Roy Wood Jr. on his Instagram had a great thing where he talked about like, as a comedian, you're going to miss shit. And the friends you have are either going to have to accept that or you got to let them go.
Or family.
And
yeah.
he basically said, don't apologize for it though.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because he talks about like, telling him, but he said, he talked about a close friend of his didn't invite him to his wedding. And he was like bummed about that. And his friend was like, well, I just figured you had a gig. And then he realized, you know what, though? I can't even be mad at him for that assumption anymore and all this kind of stuff. And that's just the way it goes. And people are going to have to accept that on their end. And if they don't, then sorry. And on your end, you can't apologize because once you start apologizing, you'll never stop apologizing to people. and you shouldn't feel bad for the shit you want to do. And if they keep you in that position of feeling bad, it was a great, like, it was an Instagram story. I wish you would have just fucking wrote it as like an essay. But
or an article,
yeah, maybe I'll hit him up and tell him that. I like to tell my friends what to do. But yeah, I wanted to remind people, if you're listening for the first time, Kristen on past episodes, and again, this isn't, I have mostly comedians on because I'm a comedian. I've had non-comedians on. But, here he is. Look at him. Iced coffee.
God,
James
dude.
Webb.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
See, he does super nice things like that. But then
I'm
he
so
fucking
excited
spoils one of the
about
biggest blockbusters of all time. It doesn't make sense, this guy.
I don't want
say you're-
people to
He's a
like me.
I say
fucking
you
mystery
balance
wrapped
the
in an
scale,
enigma.
man.
I think you do a little bit,
Balance
though.
the
But
scale.
you're a good man. Thank
I
you for
gotta
doing
put
that.
my Splenda in, though. All right, go
Okay,
ahead.
well, I'll ramble as I do
Yeah, no,
while
I'm
you talk about
listening
this.
intently.
I was telling people, if you're listening for the first time to Kristen Toomey specifically, when I have comedians on, it's nice to get inside their brain a little bit and make it in a way so that people listening, the majority of people who are listening aren't comedians, I've been told, and I appreciate that. But you will appreciate this. Kristen just goes up there. You don't have a prepared set, which is so unorthodox. I mean, there's a lot of comedians who kind of have like an outline. They don't write their jokes word for word. I don't write my jokes out. I think of the joke in my head and then just say it enough where I remember it, and I'll write the joke name. The joke will have like a track title, like on the back of an album. Like this joke is called "Can't Complain," which is funny because it's the name of the album that James and I are working on. And that, when I look at my notepad, I'll be like, I'll do "Can't Complain." I'll do 10 fingers and 10 toes. I'll do this joke. They're all track titles. You go up there with zero of that.
Do you have Splenda?
Yeah. Now
What?
James is gonna get Splenda.
Oh my God! Did I die? Am I in heaven?
You are in heaven, and I hate you for it because you're slowing down the momentum of this
Sorry,
podcast.
man. Yeah. No, I don't
fucking
write
fine.
anything down, and you got your track list. I get it. I'm with
So
you.
like when you do like bigger shows, like you did one of those Montreal Just for Laughs audition.
Yeah.
You didn't go up there with like a plan.
No, and I totally should have because I talked to the guy, and he was like, "That was a bad choice," and I was like, "Fuck yeah, you're right."
What was the
After we
choice you
talked
made?
about
If
it.
you don't mind me asking.
I did this. I've been doing this bathroom bit that was the clip on Laugh Factory.
Bathroom how?
it's
with
like
women like being in the bathroom. and not
It's
shitting.
always the bathroom with me.
Yeah, you're a real toilet fucking whore, huh?
Yeah,
I meant
man.
that in a nice way.
It's not. Well, it could be. I don't know. But yes. And it was a bad choice because he said that it was a bad choice because oh my God. Thank you, man. Because it was, although it's been crushing, I've been putting it at the end, usually around the end.
So you kind of have an idea then.
I'm
'Cause you
not
said
on
we put it
purpose.
in.
That's just
okay.
where it comes out.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
So anyway, this is like cocaine.
Looks like it.
I'm like,
I'm gonna show this to the camera, everybody. You got enough?
yeah,
Look at this
I don't
big
even
ass
know how to
thing.
measure this.
This is Splenda.
It's
I'm
splendid.
so glad I'm not a coffee drinker. It just seems way too complicated.
It's not sugar.
Yeah, I could tell that
Alright,
much
cool.
at least. I think I don't know. All right, looks like
Okay.
baby formula. That's where my brain is.
So,
So you did that joke about.
and he was like, it was a bad choice because.
Did it do well though, or no?
Yeah, but it doesn't encapsulate
And you were at the Laugh
me.
Factory. It means you should know which audition
I was
you
in
do.
Phoenix.
Oh, that's right. You were in Phoenix. You were
Yeah.
hosting it, even right? Or no?
No, I didn't host the
Oh,
showcase,
okay.
but I emceed the rest of the week there.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was
Phoenix, Arizona.
It wasn't a good choice because it didn't encapsulate me. It works better in the set because by the time I get to it, I'm talking about like fucking with people face to face.
Yeah.
And so it fits into that persona and that idea of character of who I am.
This
And
is
that's
so
why it's
industry.
so
Everything you're
funny.
saying is so industry talk. I'm not giving you shit for it.
Oh,
I'm just laughing in my head because I've heard so much of this. So for people listening who are in
I'm just
entertainment,
talking
oh no, I'm not giving you shit.
Oh.
I'm hearing what you're saying, and I've heard this a million times.
Yeah.
This isn't.
But it's
this isn't
true.
personal. No, it is true. Everything he's saying is right.
Right.
It's what they're looking for. It's their festival. They have the right to look for certain things. Of course, I'm not knocking.
No,
them
but
for
wait,
that.
I'm saying something that he didn't say to me.
Oh, okay, I got you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'm saying, he did say to me, it doesn't tell us enough about you.
Oh, okay.
But why I chose it for the showcase was because it's been crushing.
Yeah.
And I felt like it does showcase me. But it only is that way because of the rest of the set around it. it's because it fits in with all the other bits. And then by the time I get to that one, it's so believable that that's something that I would actually do.
Yeah.
That's why it's funny. But if it's standing alone, it's still funny, but it's not as funny because you don't see the other shit that comes with it, you know, the other stuff
Yeah,
that
that's the
builds on
problem.
it. So then it just looked like toilet humor. And so, which it kind of is, but
Let me give a quick background. The Just for Laughs Comedy Festival is like the most prestigious comedy festival in the world, really.
Yeah.
And it takes place in Montreal every year, like the last couple weeks of July. And it's a big deal. If you get it, it's a huge honor, and it's made a lot of careers. I feel like some of the prestige has been lost over the last few years because I know people who've done it where they're like, yeah, I mean, it was, you know, it's not what it used to be. And I've had older comedians, guys in their like mid to late 40s who are like, oh, when we did it in 1997, not only did they fly you out, they put you in a hotel, they gave you a per diem, it was amazing.
But yeah, I mean, you
And
could
it's
have made
shifted.
it on one late night set back in the day, you know.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
Tonight
things have
Show
definitely
set,
shifted in a lot
so
of ways. But
things are
it's funny you see these comedians beat themselves up thinking if they don't get it, there's no career. Where I'm like, the number of, if you made a list, say every year from 2000, let's do the last 10 years, 2009 to 2019. Here are the top 10 comedians or whatever. His motorcycle
My
just
ride's
went
here, man.
right. The motorcycle because we're along the alley here and it's so quiet, but that was the loudest I've ever heard it. And like say here are the top 20 comedians of every year of like just being good, not like money made or whatever. And I would bet half of them got it and half didn't. You know what I mean? There are some people who think like if I don't get it, I'm not going to make it. And to those
Yeah.
comics, I'm like, are you fucking?
Yeah, no, that's not
this
the
isn't,
truth.
This
you know.
isn't like
I did the Kevin
For
Hart
every
LOL
famous
there.
comedian-
Now that's great because
Yeah,
that's
'cause you did it
another-
last year, yeah.
There's another avenue to go
so
there.
you auditioned this year to do New Faces.
Yeah, it was more
Which
just
I was
to
just
get
about to
me
bring that
in.
up because you did it last year. You went to Montreal last year.
Yeah, no, they
do-
don't have you back to back years. So there was, but it was just to get in
why
front
the
of Jeff. Okay,
Oh,
because
just to get in front of Jeff Singer again.
Jeff Singer
Yeah.
and meet him and
Nice
have
guy.
a chat with him. He's great. He's
Big
so
big
nice.
Canadians fan. He's a hockey guy.
He was great, and he gave me really good advice about getting this 5 minutes. You know, so and that's the thing. It's like I've been, you know, I don't even know how much material I have, but I haven't because I
But
need
you
to,
don't. I know you want to do it, but you don't like hold everything on. I got to do this. Do you? You
No,
don't, right?
I don't have to. I don't gotta do anything.
You don't
That's
have to do
how
anything. Yeah.
I should hold something. I should try to do something. But yeah, that's my struggle. Is like
I
my
just get
struggle is I
annoyed.
don't have a struggle, man.
That's funny.
You know.
I like that. I like that. It's
I create struggle for no reason, and then I
Fuck struggle.
don't do anything about it except wallow in it, and then
just every year around March. Why did I say ish? There's the Just for Laughs festival that happens across the country, and comics across
Yeah.
the country who haven't
it's like
done
the,
it.
the craziest time. Everybody gets
Yeah.
all like.
Everyone gets weirded
Crazy.
out.
I did too,
People who
you
don't
know?
get the audition get super pissed off they didn't get the audition. I've been on that side
Then
of the
they
fence
say
before.
like, I've done that.
And then the people
yeah.
who crushed, they didn't like, you know,
Yeah.
I remember one year crushing and then doing the callback, and then the callback did okay. And then just being like, well, next year I'm going to get it for sure because I got the callback this year, so I got momentum on my side. They've seen me. Next year's the year. And then the next year I'd even get a fucking audition. You're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Last year I did it, killed the first audition, and to a point where I'm like, they shouldn't even have me for a callback. I killed that hard. Why? Just skip me past this. And, you know, did the callback, kind of did really stupid choices on the callback. I went last on a show that the comics in front of me kind of bombed. And I thought, oh, well, I'm going last. They're tired, the crowd. So I wanted to get them up. So I tried to open with some riffing crowd work. Stupid choice. Was told even after the fact that it was stupid. Kyle Kinane told me, yeah, it's a dumb move. And I don't think he. I
love Kyle.
I don't think he was a new face.
No, there's so many
Great
people
career.
that
I
haven't
know, but and
gotten
the people
new
were like
faces.
married to this idea, and so when they don't get it, or if they get it and they bomb,
Well, it's
all
just
this-
sort of like a
puts them in a
catapult.
funk.
You know what I mean?
yes, it could definitely catapult you.
And it could definitely
Or you could be in the same spot 3 years after you do it, which we know people who've had
right.
done that,
So
yeah.
I mean, it is.
Just do
it's
your
not,
thing. Drive in your fucking
necessary.
lane. Drive in your fucking lane. I think that's a good advice for no matter what career you have. Don't compare yourself to other people. You
Yeah,
gotta go in your
just
own
in
shit.
life, not even career, just life. You know,
Yeah.
comparison is the thief of joy.
Where'd you get that one from?
A fortune cookie.
Ooh.
No, I don't know, Confucius or something.
Jordan
Peterson.
So you don't watch you don't watch television.
Probably.
You don't have a
Something
computer.
like that.
You just watch the internet on your phone.
Yeah.
Is the Pornhub in your favorite tabs?
I haven't watched porn in 2 years.
Really?
I haven't seen any porn.
What are your vices right now? Because you don't really
Coffee,
drink coffee, caffeine.
I drink
the worst
maybe once a
vice.
week or once every 2 weeks, something like that.
You
And I'm
smoke
not
weed,
smoking
though.
pot.
You don't smoke pot. Okay.
I'll just take like a hit every now and again. Vices
You like in a fight
is
club or
coffee.
something? What do you
Really,
do?
coffee and cigarettes. And yeah,
That was a
Fight Club.
documentary called Coffee and Cigarettes, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Bill Murray's talking like Wu-Tang Clan and stuff like that. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I'm trying to quit smoking though, and I've been doing like a weird diet where I've been eating a lot of spinach, kale,
The greens.
celery, cucumber, garlic. I'm trying to do like a liver cleanse. Been juicing.
So your
Who am
shits are
I?
terrible. Thank
No,
God you
it's
have toilet
beautiful 'cause
paper.
I
No,
have a
thank
lot-
God you have toilet
I
paper.
have a lot of probiotics happening.
If you were still on that diet with no toilet paper, I'd be very upset with you. Very upset.
I went and painted at a nursing home
Well, you're
today.
a single lady. You talking to the fellas at all? We're getting into it right now. We're talking about why
Yeah.
you dropped out of high school. By the way, stealing cars. Do you know how to hotwire a car?
no, just I would get the key out of a locker, take it.
So you're stealing cars from people you knew.
Yeah, before I had a license, I was only 14.
I know. I remember you posted like a TBT of your like mugshot.
Oh,
you
that
could
was
tell
just
you
from
looked
my
young as
dad.
hell.
Yeah, no, I didn't really get. That was like my dad was the chief of police,
Oh.
so
Oh, you were a cop's kid and doing all that shit?
Yeah.
I know a lot of
I didn't
cops
live
kids
with
who
him,
were
though.
fucking scumbags like that.
yeah.
Get away with it.
Yeah, they would. I remember like
But I didn't
we'd-
live with him.
Oh, you didn't live with them. Okay. We'd be like at a house. I'm from divorced parents too. How about it?
Yeah.
Same.
You're talking about where that anger comes from. I don't know. Maybe it's something deep seated with that. I don't know. Because I don't
No,
consider you
was
an angry person, though. I
I
don't-
said this on Blake's podcast. I was like an angry baby. I would bite as a toddler. I was like vicious. My mom always said.
I think it's genetic.
So
No, it's genetic. I remember one time my son was playing with some toy and he got mad and he threw the toy. Like no one taught him to do that, or maybe he
Right.
saw me get mad
Yeah.
about something that seeped in. No, I think there's some genetics there of just being frustrated quicker and being like, well, forget this thing. And you give it a chuck and there's
both my parents have a temper, and
Irish
yeah.
genes, right?
Irish German.
Oh yeah,
My
Germans are
mom
very
was a
calm,
product
cool, and
of
collected.
rape.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's like, and she was adopted.
See, I was gonna end the podcast on like childbirth stuff, and now I feel like
Oh no, don't.
as if this is
So we just found
your
that
life
out.
is a Law and Order SVU episode. Fuck Shameless. My God.
Yeah.
Do you guys find it fucked up as a society?
I don't
I'll
think it's
have
that
this
bad.
when I'm flipping around and I'm like, ooh, Law and Order, and I'm like, criminal intent, boring.
I
It's
love
weird-
the criminal intent
Really,
one.
but everyone I know loves SVU better.
Yeah,
We
only
want
when
the
I was
sex
pregnant I
crimes.
watched that because I don't know why I freaked out, and I was like, back when I was 15 years ago or something, whatever it was now,
How old were you and your children?
22 when I had my daughter.
Okay.
Um,
We all know how old Kristen is. Do the math, guys. Sorry. I don't care. You're young still. You're in your
I'll never get an MTV show.
There goes MTV2 money.
Damn it. Girl Talk or what?
You know,
don't
I
even
was a
know
producer on an
what a
MTV show. Do our listeners know that?
Do you?
IMDb
Were
me,
you?
everybody. Yeah. Segment producer on season 8 of Ridiculousness, which is a Tosh.0 ripoff show. And I think I got the job because I was a production assistant on Tosh.0.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. No
Couple
no
IMDb
disrespect to
credits from
MTV, obviously. I was just saying, like,
No.
I know I'm not in
Okay.
that bracket, you know?
Yeah. No, there's some stuff where you're just like, why would I even care about
I don't
this?
even know what bracket I'm in, but it's
Yeah,
not
that's what I was
that
talking about
one.
earlier. Like, you know, James, when you were upstairs getting coffee there, James, I was talking about how we're going to take my album/special and cut it into clips. And the idea is because you were saying you felt bad about like ripping off concert footage. And well, this all started with the Louis C.K. thing where I was, so it comes full circle now, listeners. So I'm actually getting back onto the original point, which was like 21 minutes ago. Was whether you like him or not, that audio being leaked sucked because as a comic, you're working shit out and it comes in phases. I've done a joke on an 8 o'clock show that did and then the 10 o'clock show I did the joke, but then added like 2 or 3 lines, and then the joke kills and everyone loves it. Like it happens that quickly, especially if you're just kind of working on your brain instead of working on, you know, the people who write every little detail. I'm not knocking that style. That's
Yeah, I
not
think
as
that's great. I mean, if that
I'm
works
not.
for them.
If it works for them, it's great. Typically, with that style, though, you know if the joke's good quicker because they're the type of comic that's married to the words, so you know quicker. I mean, yeah, obviously you can make adjustments, but you get the idea how well this joke is going to do sooner than later. Whereas storyteller type comedians or comics that are just coming from like, oh, this is a thing that happened here, I'm going to tell it to you, and obviously I'm adding some shit to heighten it for comedic effect. That you have to iron out a little bit more, you know.
Yeah.
But with the Louis thing, when everyone was like mad about the subject material, I'm like, no, comics used to always be like contrarian no matter what it was. It wasn't that comedians were right or left. I think that obviously comedians aimed more towards left because the right was always so like, conservatives. Look, there's some great conservatives I know and love, but as far as humor goes, it's not a fun ideology. It's like a status quo ideology. It's very much like, prim and proper, where the left is more like, hey, fucking come as you are, and that's more like there's more humor on that side of things. But George Carlin would have made fun of you make fun of, oh, this is what the mainstream's obsessed with? Well, I'm going to make fun of the mainstream. Fuck the mainstream. That's how comedians used to always operate. And now it's, if you say fuck the mainstream, people think they put you in this box, which is weird. Right? I don't know.
I agree. Yeah, I think that, it is sort of comedy supposed to be counterculture in a way. And
yes, I like that phrase.
It's rebellious, and it's kind of hard to be rebellious when the majority is things that you happen to agree with,
Totally.
So you have to be able to question what you agree with.
Yeah, because there's
and
that.
So you have to, kind of question your beliefs in that way.
They've made it so that everyone has to
scary.
be on extremes. You talked about listening to Jordan Peterson, and that's how this all kind of came about. Most comedians would say fuck Jordan Peterson because of whatever reasons, and most of those reasons are probably from not really even listening to him or knowing what he's into. Or
well, that's the thing
he's a
is we're all
philosopher,
reacting most of the time. It's like I've really tried to not, because I went through this phase, dude. When I talked to you the first time or the last time, both fucking times, I was like out of my mind. I've been going through this like self-discovery and growing up at 37, and like I did the math for you, and just trying to figure out who I am outside of the marriage and outside of my kids and outside of, these beliefs that other people have put on me. And the thing is like, really nobody gets to tell you who you are. Nobody.
I like that.
Nobody. Society, individual people, whatever it is, your parents, your friends, your children, your husband, your wife, whatever it is, nobody gets to define who you are. And they'll try. Everyone will try. And you can agree with that. And most people do, and I certainly did. And what I'm working on is to be like, fuck you. No, you can't tell me who I am. You can't tell me I'm a racist. You can't tell me, even if I say dumb racist shit, you can't tell me what I believe. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell me that I'm you can tell me whatever you want, but I don't have to believe you. I don't have to adopt what you say. You can say whatever you want. That's the whole fucking point.
Yeah, I kind of go along with that.
I don't have to believe you, and I don't have to live according to, well, I guess I'm just a piece of shit, so now I'm going to be a piece of shit. Like, no. Nobody gets to tell my story. Like, that's the whole thing, is like, you get to define.
Nobody gets to tell you whether or not you're allowed to have X amount of rolls of toilet paper at all times.
Right.
Nobody's allowed to tell you.
If I want a bird bath, I'll fucking bird bath.
You'll fucking bird bath, man. You'll sprinkle some water up that puss, right? Is that what it is, bird bathing? You throw the water up there?
Well, I'm offended.
Are you offended? No, I like the speech. I agree with you. That's
no,
why
I'm
I kind
serious. Like, that's what I'm trying to do, because it's so easy to, just believe, especially with social media. It's like, you believe, well, if you guys say I'm a good comedian, that means I'm a good comedian. What if you guys say I'm a bad comedian? Does that mean that I believe I'm a bad comedian, or a bad mother, or a bad person, or a whore, or whatever?
Well,
it
you're
goes
definitely
on
not
and
a whore.
on.
You don't watch
Dude,
porn.
I'm just saying.
Although you could be a whore without watching porn. I'm sorry, Kristen. I had to be a little
I'm just
funny.
saying, it doesn't, my whole life I've just looked to other people to see myself.
For validation.
To see myself as
Oh,
a
okay.
mirror of like, well, whatever you think I am, I am. And that's elementary to most people.
Whatever you say I am. If I wasn't,
But,
why would I say I am?
Yeah, last time I was here, you read
I
way
read
too many
Eminem. For some reason,
lyrics.
Eminem and you bring out the Eminem
Way
in
too
me.
many.
I don't know what it is. You bring out the 8 Mile in me, I suppose. I like that. I like
Brittany Murphy.
I don't know. I like what I've always liked about you, besides being really cool and honest and funny, is that I think you're always looking to evolve, not only as a comic but as a person, which is cool.
Yeah,
right?
well, I
You know
think
what I
the
mean?
person and then the comic will follow.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yes, that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
You know, because like you're saying, we're comedians. That's just what's in us. Like, I have no other skill. Can't really stop doing it.
I think you should be working on yourself all the time. I think that's the whole point, you know?
We're talking about how being a comedian humbles you. I remember I had like going away sets. Was it my album recording? Either one of those.
But you don't,
And
I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead, please. People don't do that enough, James, but go ahead.
So you don't do you work on yourself, your spiritual evolution?
Yes.
Okay.
Only recently.
Good.
Only the last like
in what way
year
do
and
you
a half or
meditate?
so.
Are you doing?
You know, for a while I'd fall
Prayer?
asleep listening to like YouTube videos
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
like
Binaural beats.
I got pretty into the like law of attraction stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So but yeah, you know, I'm always looking to come up. I know everything. I've realized that everything is so mental.
Yeah.
Like when I think of when I say law of attraction, I think a lot of people automatically, you know, stick their noses up at like ugh, like
No, like all is mind.
yeah, it's not like secret stuff where I'm like, if I imagine it, it'll happen. No, obviously you got to put work in, you got to put a plan in, and I do think what you put out there comes back to you in a way. If you're being a good person, people will be good to you, and those kind of things. But I realized I'm like, how do I? Because I've got a notoriously bad temper, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of it's like the baggage I have. I'll meet new comics, and they know stories about me snapping before they know anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I think they know like, oh yeah, this guy's also funny and shit like that. But because I've met people where they're like, oh, I was expecting you to be different. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like be an asshole and stuff. I'm like, no, there's a difference. Bad temper is different than being an angry person.
Yeah.
Angry people are walking around like the world's out to get them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the you could be the angriest person alive and never yell. I've mentioned it to people and they go, wait, what? No,
That's so
dude,
true.
I know so many angry people who never like lose their shit, but they're fucking angry. They think they were dealt a bad hand. They think like this. You got that friend who's like, you know, I'm doing this, doing that, but then you see them wasting their day getting into like fights with people on social media or this stuff. No, there's some deep-seated shit there, right? Bad temper, I like to think of it, me and you kind of, I'm putting you in this and correct me if I'm wrong, where you're like, oh yeah, no, I want to look to the good side of things. I'm trying to be happy, but then something sets you off.
Yeah,
There's
that's
just
exactly what it is.
that trigger that you'd be like, what the fuck, right?
Right.
So I do look to be like, how do I avoid that? How do I get more patience? Because, you know, I have a 2-year-old son, and 2-year-olds get to that age where they're just like, you know, they go through phases. He's like in his no phase. That's what's crazy. Everyone, 2-year-olds have a no phase where when anything you ask them, they'll say no. I'll literally be like, hey, do you want to do the thing that you love the most? And be like, no. And then every now and then I'll be like, no. And then, oh, yeah, no, I do want to do that. But he's so quick to say no to everything because that's like the phase they go through. They have that
he's
shy
like asserting
phase.
himself, and that's a beautiful thing, really.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be like, all right, I need him to listen to me more, so I have to be more patient with him.
Yeah.
So, and I want him to be patient. So, and then I have to, if you want someone, there's like an old
Also,
expression.
you want him to have that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
You
I remember.
certainly don't want to squash that out of
Well, they
him.
have that stranger danger phase. Oh, we got to wrap this up soon. Sorry, everyone. I'm trying to keep this podcast tight today because I got to go back to being a dad. They have that stranger danger phase where anytime I took him out in public and I'm like, oh, this is my friend. He would immediately like hug me tighter and not want me to let him go because he's like, I don't know who this person is. I need you to protect
yeah.
me. And now he's totally over that because I think he knows now anyone my dad introduces me to must be cool, right? He flirts with waitresses now. He's 2, but he's like, waitress come by. He's like, hi. And he's like laughing. And like, we had our friend from LA come to visit us. And my friend Jackie, what's up, Jackie, if you're listening? And at first he was like, I don't know who this is because he woke up from a nap. And then she like said hi for a second or two. And then all of a sudden he's pulling her by the hand going, hey, come look at these toys. Play with these toys with me. We went on a walk.
buddy.
He's in the stroller. He reached out and made her hold his hand on the walk. And I'm like, he's never fucking done that for me. But, you know, geez, I'm pushing the stroller. But like, you know, it's, yeah. So like mentally I realized, okay, I started to keep a glass of water by the bed. When I wake up in the morning, I try to have a morning routine. Just stuff to set you up for success for the day.
Make your bed, Jordan Peterson.
Make the bed, which he got from
Clean
a
the
fucking
room.
admiral. He got that from an admiral.
I saw that
No, I remember
Admiral speech.
I remember when that first came around, being the comedian in me, being rebellious, being like, fuck making your bed. It's stupid. You're
I
gonna
thought that was
unmake it
great.
anyway.
I thought it was
No, I
great.
thought it was dumb. I hated it at first. And then I realized, no, it's actually so smart.
Yeah.
It's do it.
So many times I've made my bed and then I've come home and I've been so glad that the bed is made.
Yeah, no,
It
that
just
guy's
makes you
right.
feel better,
I was
man.
just
He was
being
so
a
right.
dick. No, he was
He was so
100%
right.
right. But as a comedian, you have that instinct to be like, fuck that.
Well, that's the thing. You want to go against what the grain is.
Yeah.
You know, just at least it mentally to try it
Yeah.
and see if you can see the other side. You know, of the
Yes.
argument. Just to
So yeah, I
see if it
definitely work on self improvement. I think everyone should. I really wish
Good.
I wish people wouldn't fight against that. And that's not to say there's something wrong with you. Even if there's nothing wrong with you, you should always be looking for that new
to improve.
Yeah, why wouldn't
evolve,
you?
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't you?
Right.
Think of it this way. PlayStation was fun. You had fun with PlayStation. PlayStation 2 came out, and you go, no, I got PlayStation, I'm fine. No, you kind of wanted to keep what else is out there.
Mm-hmm.
As a person,
That's a real.
it's not. It was maybe a dumb analogy. I don't know.
No, it's
As
a great
per-
like to get the bottom of the barrel. That's a great fucking
right?
way to
I
put
try
it.
to. That's what I speak to. I speak to the least common denominator.
Yeah.
Right? They say society moves
Let's
as
get
slow
'em.
as the slowest
Let's
person.
get
You
'em
got me,
going.
Joe.
I'm that person. I'm that guy. But and I have Nintendo Classic now. So it's.
I mean, I'm that gal. So hey,
Yeah,
the two of us, let's start a revolution, man. Get
The
the bottom
majority
of the
of people
barrel
are-
going. Come on, boys.
they're on our side, the majority of these people. So it's like this. It's not to say that there's something you could love yourself and still be like looking for ways to get better. I do love myself, and I think life's great.
Dude,
but
I just started.
I'm trying to
loving
get. I'm trying to
myself.
buy
It
a.
was like,
I want to
oh,
buy a used
great
exercise
thing.
bike. I want to buy a cheap used exercise bike because in the morning I think to myself like, I'm going to be watching two boys now on my
Oh,
own.
you'd be the cutest.
After my wife goes back to maternity leave
You get
in
some
mid-July. So starting in
Spanx.
mid-July, I'm going to have Spanx. Yeah, I've actually gained about 5 or 6 pounds since this second kid's been born. Dylan, what's up, dude? I don't
Get a waist trainer. And while
No,
you're
I
riding.
just got to fucking lose a few pounds. But it's not even like the losing the weight. I just want to have some more energy. And I know some of the most successful people I know work out first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I pick their brains? Why
I
would
did
I want
3
to try what they're
planks
doing?
last week. 3 planks
Look at you.
all week long.
Toilet paper and planks.
Oh,
Moving
man.
on up.
I'm killing it.
Dude,
I'm killing it.
You know what's funny? I have a terrible singing voice, and I've known that. Every time I start to sing, my son will be like, "No." And he tells me, my 2-year-old goes, "Please don't sing, Daddy."
My kids did that.
Don't
to
sing,
me.
Dad.
They still do. I have a bad
So
voice.
I did want to get you on to talk. Let's end it right here on this, everyone, and thank you, Kristen, for being on this. It's kind of our Mother's Day podcast. You're not drinking right now, so I've been doing like a here's to this person. I started a couple podcasts ago. Here's to Ryan Reynolds. We did here's to Kate Upton. Here's to mothers in general.
Yay.
Cheers on that. And this isn't a pandering thing. I've been in the room for a C-section. I've been in the room for a natural birth, and women are incredible. And again, this isn't a pandering thing because I hate the male feminists. I talked about this on the last podcast I did. The female body, like you and I were talking about this beforehand. I don't know if you know this, James. When the baby cries,
Yeah.
there's a trigger in the woman that makes the milk
Breast
come
milk come-
quicker.
yep.
You knew that.
Mhm.
That's fucking insane.
Yep.
So my son was born. My second son, Dylan, my youngest, 3 weeks today. He was, born C-section and had to be in the NICU for the first couple days. That's the neonatal care, the NICU, I should say, neonatal care intensive unit, whatever the fuck it is. Anyhow, and it wasn't. I was obviously nervous as hell because that's how I am. But it was more just like breathe, some fluids in the lungs. And then you naturally said, "Go ahead and say it. What happened?"
Because it was a C-section. When a baby comes out of the vagina, it squishes the fluid out of the lungs. But when it's a C-section, it doesn't do that. So it has extra fluid.
The human body, it's so insane to
Yeah.
me. The science of the human body, where there's just all sorts of stuff. It made me think about how when people take your appendix out, people always go, "Oh, the appendix was this organ that we think had a use thousands of years ago. We
I
think it had
faked
some
my
use."
appendix.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got it taken out. 5th grade. Faked it.
That's insane. I wish I had more time for this podcast.
No, I just
I'll
wanted
have
to
you on
drop
again.
that.
You're number 3. You'll probably be the first to be number 4 because you were endless supply of good shit. It's the human body just knows. So during pregnancy, James and everyone, I'm saying this to you because you're the guy here. The women, Kristen knows this shit. She's giving birth. That's why I wanted a mom on this one.
Yeah.
During pregnancy, a hormone is released in the woman's brain, so they forget what the pain was like, so that way they'll do it again.
After labor,
Right?
it releases it.
That's
it's oxytocin.
fucking nuts. That's so insane. Like,
Well, if you remembered it, you wouldn't do it.
you'd
again.
be like, "Fuck that pain! I'm not going through that
Yeah.
shit again." And then society would have
so
ended
cool.
very long time ago. Like, it's incredible. Like the human, like I really think that's why I'm getting to the point where I'm like, goddamn, we gotta take better care of our bodies. We gotta. I'm not saying fat shame, but like let's encourage. Let's go for some walks. Let's drink some more water. Let's stuff like that. You know what I mean? Damn, dude. Let's these things are incredible. How they Oh, with the
Yeah.
appendix thing, I was saying, everyone thinks the appendix was something that was probably used a million years ago. The appendix had used. My thought is this. My thought is this, everybody.
Look at his face.
What if the appendix will have use a couple thousand years from now? And all the people like you who got their appendix removed were like, motherfucker, I should have kept that goddamn thing. And you guys are going to be fucked. Because whatever happens in the atmosphere with all the pollution and rising sea levels and shit like that, me and James, who still have our appendixes, will be good because our appendix will do what it was supposed to do. And you guys will all
Serves
be
me right
like,
for being a lion bitch. What do you want?
I think we should end on that note. Kristen Toomey, thank you so much for being on Kilgallon's Pub. Everyone be good to your mothers out there. They're amazing. Pregnant women in particular. You guys are the best. We'll be back on a regular schedule soon enough. This has been Kilgallon's Pub. Cheers to you and yours.
Ta-da!
Yeah.